In a major step forward in the effort to recognize Russian crimes in Ukraine, the International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin for alleged war crimes in Ukraine. This has placed Putin's name on a short list alongside some of the most brutal leaders the world has seen since the end of World War II. But how easy is it to arrest a sitting president? The charges focused on some of the most disturbing crimes of the Russian invasion, including the kidnapping and transportation of thousands of Ukrainian children into Russia. The bold legal move to summon President Putin to stand trial for war crimes committed is giving the international community some hope that this could be the beginning of what could lead to true international criminal justice. But how do you arrest the president of one of the most powerful countries in the world? Before we dive into more details, don't forget to click on that subscribe button, like and share the video, as it's the best way to help us grow as a channel. The International Criminal Court has charged Putin over Russia's treatment of Ukrainian children under 2 articles of the Rome Statute. Accordingly, he is charged for unlawful deportations of civilians and unlawfully moving them from occupied Ukraine into Russia. Additionally, the ICC issued an arrest warrant under the same charges for Maria Lvova-Belova, Putin's Commissioner for Children's Rights, who is believed to be in charge of programs involving children. The announcement came after a report from the United Nations Human Rights Council on the 16th of March, which exposed that Russia has committed several war crimes, including forcibly moving children. Although the exact number of children who have been moved to Russia is unknown, according to the UN's report, both Russian and Ukrainian authorities have said that hundreds of thousands of children have been moved into Russia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that 16,000 individual cases of forcible deportations of children have been recorded, but the real number could be much higher. Russian officials allegedly placed children with foster families and granted them Russian citizenship, including children who had lost or been separated from their parents, or were separated when their parents were detained. Russia has publicly acknowledged the program, but has argued that the children were transferred for their own protection from the war zone. But other reports have disputed this, including a UN investigation. The ICC says it's a violation of the Geneva Conventions. ICC prosecutors, Ukrainian authorities, and groups focusing on locating the children say it's part of Putin's concerted effort to erase Ukraine's nationhood by re-educating children to be Russian. US and European officials say the children spend time in a network of dozens of camps where they undergo political re-education, an effort to turn them into Russian citizens. The ICC's legal move will obligate the court's member states to arrest the Russian president and transfer him to The Hague for trial if he sets foot on their territory. Yet, Moscow has denied allegations of war crimes since it invaded Ukraine in February last year. This makes Putin's arrest more complicated, and it's very unlikely that Putin will be arrested while he is in power. The ICC does not have its own police force, so it relies on countries to enforce its arrest warrants. Russia is not a party to the Rome Statute, which established the International Criminal Court and which 123 states are signatories to, and Putin is unlikely to travel to a country that agreed to the statute in the near term. Even if he were to travel abroad, there's no guarantee that he would be arrested, as countries he traveled to would need to be willing to arrest him. The problem is, as pointed out by the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova, since Russia is not a party to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, it bears no obligations under it. Therefore, the decisions of the ICC are unrelated to Russia. Due to this reason, Putin is less likely to stand trial unless he is arrested outside of Russia. Russia remains one of the most powerful countries in the world, with a massive stockpile of nuclear weapons, and arresting Russia's leader could have dramatic consequences for any country that attempted it. Even if Putin and his allies were to lose power in Russia, a government that wanted to extradite him would face a major hurdle. The Russian constitution prohibits the extradition of Russian citizens to another state, which makes Putin's arrest a nearly impossible task. The International Criminal Court also isn't likely to try Putin without arresting him, as the court does not conduct trials in absentia without the accused present. Due to all these reasons, it cannot be expected that Putin would be arrested in the short term. The International Criminal Court will likely file additional charges related to the Russian invasion, and it is possible that this could happen within the next few months. Russian leaders, soldiers, and mercenaries appear to have committed a number of war crimes and crimes against humanity in Ukraine, including targeting civilians. The arrest warrant for crimes involving the transfer of children is particularly significant, because such a crime could also have been filed as a charge of genocide. The ICC may have chosen to charge Russia with war crimes and not genocide may have been because it's easier to make the case, or because the criminal court is yet in the process of building a case against genocide. Even if the odds of arresting Putin are slim, the ICC's warrant does show that there is the possibility of criminal charges against Putin, and this could be the beginning of what could lead to true international criminal justice. It establishes the fact that nobody is above the international law. The announcement could have major effects on public opinion, both internationally and within Russia itself. The International Criminal Court, which takes judges from around the world, is respected in many parts of the world. This means that the charges will further weaken Putin's global standing. While many Western countries have shunned Russia, Putin has continued to rally support from countries like India and South Africa, which might feel that Russia was forced to act in Ukraine as a result of its treatment by NATO. The ICC's charges will make that position less defensible. The announcement may also help to bolster support for Ukraine among NATO member states, and help to push some to send a greater quantity and variety of weapons to Ukraine. In the long term, it could even strengthen support for a powerful NATO, and the charges may also weaken Putin's position within Russia. What are your thoughts on Putin being arrested? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.